Have you ever seriously wondered what it takes to build a modern website or web application from the ground up? Well, today we're going to find out. We are literally cracking open a real university syllabus to see what's inside Professional Web Developers Toolkit, piece by piece. Let's dive in. So, this is the big question, right? What's actually in the toolkit? You can think of it like peeking into a master mechanic's garage. What are the essential tools they can't live without? This syllabus from Already Engineering College is basically our blueprint. It's going to show us everything. All right, so any good project starts with a plan, a blueprint. Before we start grabbing tools and getting our hands dirty, we need to understand what we're trying to build. This first part looks at the main goals of the course, which tells us exactly what our finished toolkit should be able to do. And right away, the syllabus lays out these 4 huge pillars. This tells you something really important. Web programming isn't about learning just one thing. It's about understanding a whole ecosystem. You've got to know the core technologies, learn to think in a certain way, connected data, and make sure everything can talk to each other. These are our big picture goals. And this is the best part. It shows you the actual path. It's not just a random collection of skills, it's a journey. You start with what the user sees, then you learn the tech to make it work, you add the brains, you hook it up to the memory, and boom. By the end, you can build a whole application. It's a clear, step-by-step road to becoming a real builder. Okay, let's grab our first set of tools. This whole section is about what you see and interact with in your web browser. If we're thinking about building a house, this is the foundation, the walls, the windows, the paint, the whole look and feel of the place. So our first 3 tools line up perfectly with that house analogy. You've got HTML, that's the skeleton, the raw structure of the house. Then you bring in CSS, and that's all the style. That's the paint color, the furniture, the curb appeal. And then you've got JavaScript. That's the magic. It's the doorbell, the light switches, all the things that actually make the house come alive and respond to you. And here's what's cool. This isn't some dusty old toolkit. The syllabus specifically calls out modern versions like HTML5 and CSS3. That means we have the tools to do some really advanced stuff, like building complex animations and layouts that just weren't possible a few years back. Now, here is a super important concept to get. Everything we've just talked about, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that all happens on what we call the client side. It all runs right inside your web browser. But that's only half the story. The other half happens on the server side, on some powerful computer far away that does all the heavy lifting behind the scenes. Getting this difference is absolutely key. So let's go behind the curtain. Let's check out the engine room. This next part of our toolkit is all about the server side, that powerful behind-the-scenes logic. This is the real engine of our application, the power plant that makes everything run. And the engine we're using in this particular toolkit? It's Java. And why Java? Well, for one, it's a total workhorse. It's famous for being incredibly reliable, secure, and able to handle huge, complex applications. It's the perfect choice for the heavy lifting that happens behind the scenes. And Java brings some seriously powerful features to the table. We're talking about object-oriented programming, which is kind of like using reusable Lego bricks to build complex things really fast. There's exception handling, which is like an emergency safety net to keep the app from crashing. And then there's multi-threaded programming, which is this wild ability for the application to do multiple things at the exact same time. Okay, so we have a beautiful house front and a powerful engine in the back. But a house is pretty useless without plumbing for water or wires for electricity, right? Same for an app. It's useless if it can't connect to its data or to the internet. And that's what this next batch of tools is all about. The main tool for the job here is something called JDBC. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal adapter for data. It's this standard piece of plumbing that lets our Java engine connect to, pull information from, and send information to pretty much any database out there. It's the vital link to the application's memory. And to connect to the rest of the world, our toolkit needs networking tools. Think about it like sending a package. You need a pipeline to send it through, right? Those are sockets. And to make sure it gets to the right house, you need the exact address. That's what tools like the URL and in-address classes do. They help our app navigate the internet and deliver data to the right place. All right, now we get to the really fun stuff. Our house is built, the power's on, the water's running. Now it's time to install the specialized appliances. The high-tech gadgets that do very specific, very cool jobs. First up, we've got something called a servlet. You can think of this as a little expert program that lives on your web server. When a really specific request comes in, like you trying to log in or submit a complicated form, the server just hands it off to the right servlet, which knows exactly what to do. Next on the list is XML. Now, if HTML is for displaying information to people, XML is for describing information for computers. It's like a universal label maker. It wraps up pieces of data with clear labels, like product name or price, so that any other program anywhere in the world can immediately understand what it's looking at. It's all about sharing data. And that brings us to the ultimate connection tool, web services. Okay, imagine your app is on one island and another totally separate app is on another island. Web services are the bridges that connect them. They let a weather app on one island share its data with a flight booking app on the other automatically. It's how different programs talk to each other across the internet. So there you have it. We've gone through the whole syllabus, from the stuff you see in your browser to the powerful engine in the back and all the plumbing and wiring in between. Now we can step back and just admire this complete, powerful toolkit that we've put together. I mean, look at this. Remember those goals from the beginning? Now they're a checklist of actual skills you'd have. You're not just learning concepts, you are literally equipped to design, to code with powerful logic, to connect to data, and, at the end of the day, to build a fully functional web application from scratch. That is one heck of a toolkit. Which really brings us to the final and maybe most important question. We've deconstructed the blueprint, we've laid out all the tools on the workbench. The only thing left to ask is, what would you build with it? Thanks for sticking with me.